Midnight Ramen is a minimally edited, live recorded podcast that takes place at midnight. Although Michael may not be consuming food, it's time to get your bowls out. It's chow time.
Welcome back to you. Break stride, sailing me. Free falling, choose my enemy. Free from the things you say. It will all come back someday.
Good evening, gamers and other folks alike. I hope y'all are doing good. You are listening to Midnight Ramen with me, Michael. The Livecast. I should probably specify because that will come into play. And I don't know, like almost a year from now, which is crazy to think about, because that's when I'm releasing the radio show I used to do at my college, which that actually kind of leads us into the topic of the night. But before we get to that, I obviously got to do the stuff that I do for this. If you want to watch this live, you can go to twitch.tv/MeltedLurkOriginal, all one word. Or, search it up in your Twitch. Melted Lyric Original, all in one word. Capitalize the M in Melted, the L in Lyric, and the O in Original. If you don't, it's pretty easy. Or if you miss this or miss the VODs, or you want to watch a catch up on the VODs, you can go to youtube.com, the YouTubes, and look up in the search bar, Melted Lyric Original, all one word, and you will find my channel where I have a lot of these episodes and some other content too sometimes when I choose to actually make content. But that's let's be honest, that's pretty I should really get on that more, but eventually you can probably find this on Spotify and other sources. Not Stitcher, because apparently that whatever podcasting is dying, so that's cool. So, I'm going to take a little sip of my drink, because it's really good. It's a Dungeons & Dragons Hero's Potion of Power, which doesn't make any sense because it's an energy drink. It's cherry lime, and it's pretty decent, I'm not going to lie. But I feel like Potion of Power doesn't make sense for this, because I feel like it would be more like a Potion of Haste, or like a Potion of Short Rest or something like that, because you get, I feel like a haste potion would be right, because it gives you energy, makes you, like an energy drink, it makes you go quicker and whatever, blah 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 blah. But once you're done with haste, you have to take an action to do nothing, which to rest, which makes sense. But yeah, I feel like even though it's like a novelty thing, kind of feels like a gag. It is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. The logo, their logo's on there, and it's definitely legit. So I'm not gonna lie about that one. It's decent. Not mad at it. Yeah. So tonight's topic, I am a former, I'm a graduate of Minnesota State University Moorhead. I'm currently wearing I think probably the first merch I've ever gotten from the university, other than my hoodie that I occasionally wear. I wear quite a bit. Not really at work, because it's a literal big logo of the dragon on it, and it just, yeah. But I do like wearing that one because, not only does it say my alma mater, I just like the jacket. It's really good. But yeah, we're gonna. I noticed this last week when I got off of work. This was Saturday. I got off of work. I was driving. I went to get gas. I saw one car. It looked like it was loaded up with a bunch of stuff. And then I was doing some errands, and I noticed there are definitely people going off to college. And lo and behold, this is originally I meant to record this on my usual date that I usually do this at, which is Wednesdays, well, technically Thursday, midnight. And lo and behold, this week is Welcome Week at MSUM, and I am excited because, like, even though I'm not there, and a lot of other, college and universities are having their welcome weeks for their new students and new and returning students. It's, oh man, I miss that energy so bad. It's the energy from that is just so good. And I feel like that just really rides up until like homecoming, which gives like another, like pulse. And then I feel like, I don't know when there is a point in the semester that I feel like that energy does run out, I would say, but like that just like hype and like, it's so new and things are just different and hanging out with new people and just getting to know the environment is just so fun. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I really miss it. If I really wish I could be up there right now. Just, helping the students, because like that was just so fun. It's such a different experience. Just, being around people, around just saying, hey, see me around, and I'll be doing stuff, and that's pretty fun. But I think my freshman year, my first time going into the dorms, moving up, in like I was in the third floor. Luckily, I wasn't in one of the dorms that had like more, cause yeah, we have a building. I don't know. Sometime it's gotta go. It's called Nelson, and that building has 4 floors. I mean, no, not 4 floors. 12 floors, if I'm not mistaken, and one elevator. Yeah. Granted, the elevator is very, 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 very fast. Yeah, it's not. Wait, actually, there's two. Never mind, there's two. They're two very fast elevators, but like, ooh, getting at all, 12 floors or whatever with students and their stuff and their parents trying to get, stuff up that. No, I couldn't. That's just nuts. And there's not a whole lot of space when you're trying to help students move in. Basically, at least from what I've seen, and I don't doubt from like other universities they do exactly the same stuff. So you roll up. If you're the student, you hopefully got a parking pass. If you don't, you go get a parking pass later. But people write on your windows like, oh, what time you get in. And you got like, I don't know, like half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to basically unload your crap, get it into your dorm, and get the car out of the parking lot because more students are coming in. And depending on the times, it can be a little bit more lenient. But if you're a student, you want to get your parking pass as soon as you can. And I feel like later in the podcast, I'm going to definitely talk about some good tips that I remember from those days, because, or just like college tips, because like there are a lot of things that I learned in my time that not really they'd taken for granted, but, or I wish I should have known, but like some things that definitely helped me out. And, again, I think I might talk about stuff that I wish I knew earlier, but we'll see. But I get up there. So the dorm that I lived in is called Doll. It's also known as the Doll House, because it was originally just an all girls dormitory, but then they did it like a mixed one, and that tends to be the freshman arts and like music and stuff like that, and some athletes too. It really was a mix, but the second floor, I have some stories to tell about for another day, but that's its own separate thing, and I don't feel like I have enough time in the podcast to do this, to talk about that. But I rolled up it was about, like, we had to drive 4.5 hours to get there. So we got up early as hell. Like, just super duper early. And the thing, I think we got there about like 10 o'clock, maybe 10, 11. Actually, probably would have been 11 o'clock, probably around then. And I got my stuff in there pretty dang quick. I think within less than 30 minutes. And of course, a lot of the freshman dorms, basically, you're with another person. And when you're older and stuff, when you're in certain cases, like if you're a freshman, you can get a solo room, but that tends to be more expensive. Or if you're an upper, you've been there enough that you can, if you're kind of a buy one or first, whoever first come, first serve sort of a basis. If you get it, you get it. And you do have to pay more or less rent on it because, yeah. But you get an RA, my RA, that guy. I'll talk about him in a bit. But it took me about 20 minutes to get in. It took me 20 minutes to get in. And my roommate, he's pretty cool. He's a theater major. I don't want to dox a name. I don't want to dox anyone unless if they want me to say their names. I'm not going to dox them. But he was a theater major, and I got to know him pretty well, especially the second semester. And I think I believe I've told stories about him before, but we got our stuff. We vibed pretty well early on, and we just, we had our own things. We did our own stuff here and there, but we were in the same sock group, which I will talk about in that in a second too, because that's another experience. But we got our stuff loaded in. We basically tried to, we move your stuff around, get it situated and all that other stuff. And then I don't think we had a whole lot of time, or I didn't get a whole lot of time, because I think at noon our sock group, which is basically kind of like for that first semester, we had a bunch of students with, someone that designated themselves as a leader that would basically guide the students, like, oh, here's the stuff on campus that you can find, this and that. And there was a class for it, just like explaining stuff around campus and getting connected and doing stuff and all this other stuff, all these other things. But that was mainly what they did, and that was the whole group, is trying to get connected and get friends and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends were, some of them were from my sock group, but I feel like a lot of them too were just like friends of friends outside of friends in the sock group, and like kind of spread it outward. Because I feel like I found my tribe pretty dang quick, even though like that first day or two, it's feeling out the campus and knowing what there is. I think it must have been that first day. I think it was honestly that first day that that I found my tribe, found my people. So I'll get to what we called ourselves later, but the campus held like a lot of events, welcoming stuff. Like you were basically more or less mandatory, like you were forced to go to that sort of thing, to like, oh, mingle with other people, because duh. So I think the first main event was like an outdoor thing at the football field, and there were like games and stuff like that, and just a bunch of stuff to do. And how I met my people was through a game of Ninja. And for those that don't know what Ninja is, it's basically a game where you hold your hands like in anywhere around your body, try to hold them up, but you are basically frozen. And the only time you can move is to either chop or like attack someone's hand or arm, whatever. I think it's only their hand. You only can hit their hand, and when they lose their hand, they have to put that behind their back And when you lose both hands, you're done. You lose. You die. And we just did a whole big group ninja thing that was just so fun. And that's kind of how we vibed. And a lot of the people from that group, we formed this basically this big old friend group that we used to hang out in the main lobby. We called ourselves Meme Squad, Moorhead enthusiasts of memes, ironically enough, and education. So that's what we called ourselves, just because it was funny, and it was kind of cool. I honestly had to find the photo because we took, or a good chunk of us took a photo in the dining hall, and it's just so iconic. It's just so iconic because it's just a lot of us all together, just sitting at this table, and that was my gang. That was literally my gang. I don't want to like show dox anyone, but like I have to show this photo because it's just so iconic. It's so iconic for my group. I just can't. And I did a lot of stuff with them. If I can find it, I might have lost it somewhere. Actually, I know where I can find it easier. But in that time, like, I just vibed very well. And I was definitely, I could definitely, in high school, especially later high school, I didn't talk to a whole lot of people, mainly because, like, I was doing stuff. I didn't have time to hang out with friends and stuff like that. I was busy going to practice and doing this and that. So, like, me hanging out with friends was, like, kind of hard. And it really brought a lot of energy to me that I could hang out with a lot of people now. And I'm looking at photos and then it just like said, no, you don't want that. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Oh. Almost got it. I can find it. I'm so close. But I miss my gang. I miss the gang. I have a whole lot of good stories about them, but man, I miss them. I miss them a lot. Pretty much each and every one of them. I know I have this image somewhere. I have to find this image, and I can't find it. No, and I'm not gonna put it in the VOD because it's a minimally edited podcast. But that's besides the point. And so we called ourselves Meme Squad, and basically we tried to get ourselves as an organization, like as an official organization, and that really didn't go well. It died out within the semester, basically. But it was fun. It was fun. Oh boy. But no, we hung out a lot, and there was definitely a lot of like drama here and there for sure. That I feel like even to this day, I feel like a lot of that damage is still, hanging around. But for the most part, if I see any of the other guys or people that I know from it, I'm gonna be like, what's going on? Like, because like it's just that time was just so fun. It was just so fun hanging out with a bunch of people, just making each other laugh almost to death. We like almost every day, we probably had like rock hard abs just because of how hard we would laugh at each other or with each other. It was just so fun. It was just so fun. We'd have movie nights. We went out on bus trips, on adventures, and man, just hanging out on campus, just doing stuff. That's the fun thing about college. Is like you can there's a lot of things to do. I think the thing that I hated the most during my time in college, and I definitely have to say this for a lot of people, not only for college and whatever, was that it happened during COVID. I was in during COVID, and some of that, doing the online stuff, it's fine, but that interaction that you get from hanging out with people and just living life and growing more as not only a person, but like like in your knowledge and education and what you want to do for the rest of your life is just crazy. Uh, like I've made a lot of good friends out of college, and man, I wish, I wish I could relive those days. Even though, like, you know, I don't really, I don't, I wouldn't trade it for the world to do it again. But like, I do miss those days a lot. I really do. Uh, but the welcome week energy is just so good, just so fun. Because like that was like the first day, and then like the second day, I think we, for more touring stuff, I think we went around campus, but then I think we went out into Fargo because it's a bigger area, so we took a bus there. And a big tip is to know, use, if you live in a city with the college thing and you have your student pass, if you don't have a car or your car breaks down or this or that, use it. Like, that will save you so many times. It saved my hide even when I graduated. Like, almost a year after I graduated, it literally saved me a whole lot of money. It saved me time. Like, I got to work some days solely only because like I had a bus pass, like a free bus pass, and it just was so awesome. So we went out to Fargo. We just like basically ran around and did stuff. We'd hang out in groups. I bought like a bunch of Magic cards because I'm a freaking I'm a freaking idiot that way. And I got a very good pull from it. I can't remember what it was. It was like I think that was when Almond Kit was around, but that's besides the point. I think I got an invocation for that, and that was good. But it was just such a fun time and a fun vibe. Man. And then I think after that, in the Memorial Union, the Comstock Memorial Union, where I eventually would have end up working, like we had the whole building had like activities to do, like upstairs, downstairs. Even at the time, the bar had the like underground bar that had things going on. It was just popping. It was going off, and it was like themed and stuff. It was just so fun. Just that energy and that, like, I can't stress this enough. The energy and the vibe of that is just so fun. So fun. Like, hanging out with people that, I just met, even though like classes haven't started yet, like that energy just carries through like a good majority of the semester, and it's just so fun. Just like that, I feel like that energy, like even that initial energy, I feel like goes all the way through midterms. Like, they're definitely, like, I feel like though my freshman year up to midterms, like a lot of stuff happened. Like a lot of stuff happened in my life, and even then, like, it felt like a blur. like it went by so fast. And yeah, it was like even though like, some weeks or some days it just felt like, man, this sucks. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got so much work to do for this one class. I don't have to do anything in that, but I have to practice. Even then, like, we found time to just hang out, and I miss doing that with the gang. Yeah. But you find if you find your people and you find who you like hanging around, cherish them. Don't try to stab each other in the back, for God's sakes. don't don't go messing around. Just be nice to people. It'll be fun. Your party. And that's willing to keep. That's something willing to save. But even after my freshman year, I was definitely one of those guys that was like, when Welcome Week came around, I was hyped. My sophomore year, I was like, I had to go in a week before because I had to do training stuff for work, and we got paid and stuff, and that was fun. Like for the 3 years that I was doing work training, or just basically work orientation, even though, like, you know, pretty much all of us already work there at some point. We all like got this, you know, training, we got this and that. We just grew together as a team, and we came together to help welcome in new and returning students. And it was really fun. We even had like games and stuff like that too. And those were fun. Those were really, really fun. There were definitely days that we were sitting in a classroom, or not really in a class, in a meeting for like 2-3 hours, and we're just bored out of our minds. But there were definitely other times where I remember one time where my boss was like the arms for this other guy, and he was basically trying to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and my boss couldn't like see what was going on, but this other guy was like basically being his eyes and ears, and we were telling him what to do, and just like the basic simple instructions, he would purposely mess up. It was just the funniest thing, and we had to be so utterly specific. It was just so funny. I'll be like, oh, grab a piece of toast, or grab a piece of bread, and it'd be like, he grabbed the whole freaking bag. Or be like, all right, now spread the butter. And then he grabbed the jar of peanut butter, and then just like, with the lid closed, you know, just try and lather it over, you know, with over the bread. Like, open the jelly jar. And then it, you know, just like like stab the pin. Oh man. That was funny. That was so funny. And it taught us a lot of stuff, not only about ourselves, about who we are and how we can help each other. And it was just so cool how we can use our strengths to help not only ourselves, but to help the team and help our coworkers and stuff like that. I feel like definitely when I'm going up next time, I like when I'm going up to meet the boys again, I am for sure going to stop by work, or my old workplace, and say hello to my old bosses, because they know me. Like, they know me so dang well. But yeah, it's really fun. And I miss it. I miss doing the stuff down there. But I will say a secret thing about, before I get into some magic packs, I will say one secret thing. I talked about it in the Comstock Memorial Union. And this is one thing at Minnesota State University Moorhead that they won't really tell you about, unless if you do work there at the Comstock Memorial Union and you know about it. So there's this location within the building. It's by one of the elevators. I'm not going to say which one, but there are a set of stairs that lead down to the literal basement. Even though, like, people would say, like, oh, there's like a ramp that goes downstairs and it's like a little sub level. That's not the basement. That is not the basement. So you take these stairs down to the basement. There's this door that immediately opens. If you can actually get into it, that is, it leads up into this dance floor. Like this whole like retro, like 90s style, like bar and dance floor and club stuff. Before it was that, it was a bowling alley. And like, oh, man, I would have loved the heck out of that. I would have absolutely loved the heck out of that. Because even like the boss of my boss, like in his office was like memorabilia of that any like bowls. So like, duh. So like, it's just like I wish I could have been there for that, but time travel. How does that work? But no, it was called the Underground because duh, it was underground, and it had like this whole DJ booth that really didn't work. Uh, I think it was even tied to the radio station too, uh, with the campus radio station, something like that. I can't remember exactly. There was a bunch of old material and stuff in that room in that building that shoot that it's probably older than a lot of the people working there or some of the people working there. I'm not gonna lie, like it was old before 2002. Like maybe it was like maybe from 2002. I don't know. Like some of the people that are like in their 40s and 50s are like, yeah, that was there when I went to college here. Like, yeah, that's how long it's been here. But yeah, that was a very cool space. But one of the bad spaces in there that's also like connected into it because it's in the like the literal basement. You could get into basically a bunch of pipes and stuff like that. It's very humid rooms. Like steam vents, not really steam vents, but like, pipes that lead for like steam and heating and water and all that stuff. There was a lot of those. Like you had to like to get to the fire. There's a thing for the fire alarm, or I can't exactly remember what it was. The fire sprinkler turn off, or the thing to turn it off. Like you had to crawl, and even for me, I was skinny as heck, and I had to like shimmy, like turn sideways and shimmy, duck and shimmy, like do all this weird stuff just to get to it. It was that tight, and just it's hot. Even in the winter, it's just warm, humid, horrible. And when it's dark, you're like, oh man, it's like you might die here. There's probably an evil clown or evil something hiding in the midst of some of this. And I think one of the pranks that we were gonna do is literally have someone hide in this little caged area that you can't get into. Just have them hide in there. Have like our boss or something turn on the light, and then grab their hand or something like that, and just spook the living heck out of just a bunch of the people in the group. It would have been so funny, but we didn't do it. Or just like send someone in there. It would have been very funny, just to spook them out. I would have so done that in a heartbeat. But yeah, I think I should probably get into some magic cards real quick. I'm going to do this real fast. I mean, I have 3 packs because I think originally I was going to do 2, but I realized that the next magic set is less than half a month away, or about 20 days, like about 21 days away. So if I do this at a 3 pack a week, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. So, or about that, I'll be fine with these if I don't get too crazy with them. If I have to buy more, whatever. But Commander Masters, 3 packs. We're gonna get into it. So first pack. And of course, there's pack trick, I think, right about there. All right. Eudora, Frontier Warmonger, Heartless Act, Portal Mage, Jade Mage, Thriving Isle, Pollen Bright Druid, Sharpsnare Spider, Deranged Assistant, Cryptid Serpent, Command Tower, cool hand, Living Lightning, Thorn in the Black Rose. This guy, that's pretty good. Ooh, cool alt art, Dread Return. Love it. Haunted Cloak. An Eldrazi Scion. It's a pretty neat token. I like it. It's pretty cool. Foil Fall from Favor. For the rares, ooh, Hammer of this. This is actually decent if I remember right. Hammer of Nasan? I can't remember exactly, but this is a good card. Ooh, Grenzo. I'm putting him in a Goblin deck, but I need to actually put him in there. Oops. Then Inga Rune Eyes is the last card, but that's an uncommon. Not too bad. The hammer's pretty decent. I don't know what about prices, but I think the original card itself is pretty good. I don't think the price on this one is as insane as the other ones, or the other printings. But yeah, I had a lot of, like, even with Meme Squad, I remember watching Kingsman, and that was around the time that we opened, I'm going to do this while I look at the pack. And that was around the time that we watched, that was around the time, what was it? It was like Modern Masters 2017. I opened a lot of good stuff out of that one. But I just remember while we were watching the movie in the floor lounge, we were just like I was just like opening packs, like hardcore. And it was really fun. A lot of good memories from those days. A lot of good memories. Thriving Hearth, Broken Wings, Spectre, Cryptic Serpent, or Braid, Filigree Attendant, Breathe the Bones, Spectral Grasp, Heart Piercer Bow. The token is a spirit token. Cool. Whatever. Foil. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Ooh, untap another target permanent to. Ooh, that's actually not bad. Not bad. Mind's Aglow. Okay. Starting with you, each player may play any amount of mana. Each player draws X cards, where X is the total amount of mana paid this way. That's not bad. Not bad. Ooh, Maelstrom Wanderer. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright. That's fun. I love it. I love that one. I'm gonna use that. For sure. And then last pack. I actually kind of wanted that one, so I'm not mad. I think college was kind of where I also started doing, like, buying boxes, or just because I like opening packs. I just love it. Even though, like, it's good bulk, but also sometimes it's like you can get good stuff. But yeah. Thrawn Dynamo. Focus. Hocus Pocus. Focus. Hello. There it is. And it's out of... Oh, there it goes. Thrawn Dynamo. Exsanguinate. Four-Bear's Blade. Ooh. Stark Demutation as an alt art. I love that. Gross. Cool. That's a lot of words. Cool command tower. I actually like that art for that command tower. Wind Rider Wizard, Blood Aspirant, Demon's Disciple, Knighted Mirror, Path of Ancestry, Eldrazi Scion. Alright. For the token, we got a Rurik's Bladewing for the foil. Uncommon. Ooh. Idol of Oblivion. Is draw a card, activate only whatever, blah, 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 blah. Sacrifice it for 8 mana, and tapping it to create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi token. Yuck. Alright, this pack sucks. Unless, yeah, alright. That one wasn't good. Got the blue merfolk that makes drakes. Just reprinted in every set, I feel like. Not good. Yucky. No. Every non-standard, whatever set, it just reprints itself. I don't like it. But yeah, since we're done with that, I'm going to talk about some things that I've learned at college from stuff like this. So, the main thing, or I think one thing that I learned, and I already talked about, is use your bus pass. If you don't have a car, or if your car breaks down, or your car doesn't want to start or whatever, and you're doing something in town, use the bus. Your bus pass, depending on when it expires, will last you your whole time at college, or should if you do 4 years. If you renew it, duh, you'll get more time, I guess. But in that time, you can use it for like at least for our college it was free. I can't really speak for anything else, but like for what I know, like you can just use it anytime you want. You got to know the bus schedule, the bus routing, and the schedules, which isn't too hard. I mean, all the buses go back, like do a loop back to the central hub, and if you know where you're going, and they kind of tell you where they are, there's plenty of maps and stuff like that to tell you where they're going, even on the bus. But if you know where you're going, and make sure that you take some time to know how long it will take to get to a place, and eat with stops, it's not a big deal. It definitely has saved me so many times, because like there was a time when I was like done with college and I was working at the TV station that I worked at, and it's not too far, not like incredibly far, probably like about 3/4 of a mile, I feel like, from the station. And like I definitely like got a lot of experience, like getting, or like I felt like it was like half a mile from there, and I had a lot of experience and time, and a lot of times where it definitely saved me to use the bus to get to work. And yeah, it has saved my hide quite a few times. And even when like my car broke down, and that was the main reason why my car at the time broke down and just didn't want to work. So I would use it to get to work. I used it for like a little bit to do it when I had some time, but not a whole lot. Or if it was, bad weather, this or that, and I just needed a ride. That's what I would do. I feel like I would do it if I had plenty of time, but I didn't want to like walk all the way there or bike all the way there from my apartment. I never really biked, rollerblade there. That's what I would do. And if I would have walked there, it probably would have been the same, but still, the way to get there isn't that hard. It wasn't far for me, really. But even in the winter, I had to. There was like at least two days where like I was kind of more or less snowed in, and I couldn't get my car out of the parking where I parked it. So what I ended up doing is running all the way to the bus stop, and I feel like I almost like got slight hypothermia, because like I could barely feel my fingers, and I literally had to sit on them and try to like warm them up. It was so bad. Like I had gloves on, or I'm pretty sure I had gloves on. I'm like freezing my fingers off. I think that was probably one of the coldest winters we had in a long time too. Yuck. We had the hottest summer and like the coldest winter in a long time. The summer, or like the year that I got out of college, the summer of 21 and the winter of 21/22 was like probably one of the coldest in a long time. It was crazy. Or in a while. It was just nuts. Oh, but that was the main one. Use the bus pass, because it'll save you so much time. Go to events. If you know that there's an event that you are interested in, go to it. That you're interested in, if you have time, and if your homework, and obviously focus on your schoolwork, because that's what you're there for. That's what you're paying for. But if you have time to do something, especially with friends, like if there's a movie playing on campus, or if there's a bingo night, or there's this thing going on, like a basketball game, go to them, because it's just fun. It's fun to hang out with other people. Like I'm introverted myself. Like, and I've already said it, but like if you go to those events, it's just fun. It's fun. I'm kind of introverted in that way, but like I love going to those things, even though like yeah, I like hanging out with people and like doing things. But that is a good way to make friends too, is just hanging out. Like, and it doesn't even have to be an actual event. Like, go to the lobby, go to the little lobby or the lounge on a floor or anything. Like, people like tend to hang out in those lobbies and lounges and stuff like that. Even hanging out with like the desk RA is just fun. Like I remember my sophomore year, I spent a lot of time hanging out at the RA desk because like I knew a lot of them, and it was just like they were cool, they were fun to hang with. It would help them get through the work day. Just watching people come in and out the door, just saying hey, what's going on, just you got to know a lot of people and hear a lot of interesting stories that way. And just hear the funniest shit. It was just fun. Uh, yeah. Yeah, just go out to events. Go out and do things if you can. If like you're sick, don't. Obviously, I think that the thing that sucked with coronavirus is that it was hard to do those sorts of things. It's hard to hang out at events, especially but like when I was working, it helped for like the setup in the ballroom. We didn't have to change it that much because it was set up specifically for like, for this specific way, the setup, and with all the COVID, regulations, this and that, it was set up perfectly for what it was supposed to be. Like, yeah, it was good. But like, hang out with people. Even then, it was no excuse that we could not have people hanging out with people because, yeah, it was just the thing to do. It was fun. It was interesting. And you got out, you got to hang, like, you got to find people. You got to see and do things. And yeah, that's a big, 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 big thing. And if you don't like doing things, like, force yourself to do it, because just being there is half the battle. Like, and if you don't like it, leave. Duh. Go to something else. If it's and on top of that, hang out with like people and other things like that. Find a club. Find a group of people that you like hanging out with. Find a group of people that you like hanging out with. Find a club. This whatever. Similar thing. Like if you have an event that's going on, or like a group of people that are like hanging out together on a regular basis, go hang out. I know one thing that I like doing especially what sucked is that it would usually happen when I had my horn lessons, right in the middle. So it's like I couldn't really stay for too long. And really, when I'm done, I'm like, I gotta do some homework and this and that. But there was in the Comstock Memorial Union, there was a gamer club, and they set up like a bunch of like TVs and like the projector. They would play a lot of different kinds of styles of not only video games, but board games too, card games. Some of it even sometimes devolved into Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon sometimes. But like some people would bring like super retro consoles. Like I think a couple of times I saw a Dreamcast, GameCube for sure. People playing Melee, some other games as well. Like games that you wouldn't think like someone would be playing in the year of our Lord and Savior, like 2018, 2019, whatever, or even 2023. It's like some games that you wouldn't expect. And it's just like, it was just fun. It was just really fun. Like even hanging out was just fun. But yeah, that was definitely one thing that was like, go to those groups, like hang out with groups. I would say get a campus job Or like if you already have a job, cool. But if you don't have a job, get a campus job because like you're on campus. If it's something that's not like boring as heck, whatever suits your style. Um, I know definitely mine was a very active job because I like being active. Uh, just walking around doing things. But if you like doing sitting at a desk for a long periods of time, there are definitely jobs for that. For sure, for sure, for sure. And if you have the gall and the guts to be a person that calls alumni for donations, I salute you. I do not have the courage to do that. I don't feel like I would ever have the courage to do that because that takes guts, like straight guts to do that. It's crazy, like just the things that you have to do for that. I literally could not. I could not do that. Um, but yeah, it's I was a like a campus job if you can, or like be an RA, be a sock. It also a lot of depends on your commitment to what you want to do and how taxing it is on your schoolwork, which I think leads me into my next point. But I want to talk about this a little bit more. Uh, I'll like just if you can work on campus because like you find more people in that way and you get more connections with like what you want to. I feel like if you get one that in an area that you want to do, cool. Um, like for me, like what I was doing was like a building manager stuff. That's what I'm kind of doing now, ironically enough, and that really helped. Like a lot of the stuff that I learned in class, I used at work, and stuff that I used at work, I used in class, and you get a little, thing here and there. You give a little, you take a little, Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. It was, I think getting a campus job was a very smart move because it was fun. And some of them don't really pay that much. Others do. But if you get one that suits you, stick with it. Even if it doesn't pay well, if you can get good benefits with it, that's incredible, incredible. But yeah, and I was backtracking. Oh yeah, your workload for college. Make sure that you want to make sure that you're getting your credits. You want to make sure you're getting enough to be not only a student and other stuff, but you're on your path to getting out of college at a reasonable pace and you're not having to basically be there perpetually trying to get your stuff. And yeah, you want to know how big your workload is. You want to know how many credits you're taking. I think 15, like in the mid teens is about where you want to be. If you're doing like 20, 21, if it's like light classes or like just like a few that are like, oh yeah, I have a lot of credits going on this semester, but it's like 4 classes. Like, yes, that means the workload is going to be huge, like very huge, but that won't, like, if you can use a lot of, like, it depends on how much time you want to spend on your homework and not, and blah, 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 blah. Some people are good with studying some than others, and vice versa. Some people are really good at taking notes, while others are, boop, it's in there, this and that. But yeah, there are definitely classes that it's like, oh, this will be an easy slough class. No. Online classes too. Scheduling that can be a little bit, I would say, tricky because like I had a couple of online classes and some of them did make sense. But if you take online classes, do ones that like make sense. Because if you're doing like a class for something in your major that's like really, really important, unless if it's specifically supposed to be online, don't do it. Don't do that because that's not cool. It just doesn't vibe well. Unless if it's specifically set in a like for me, or like what happened when I was going to college. Like there were classes of mine that traditionally should have been in a room, but weren't because COVID. Like, yeah. And if you can get a study group of that too. If you can get people together that like again with your friends that are in the same, area, that's cool. If you can get a study group, that's a cool thing. I think like community is a good example of that. Like get a class that all of you know that all of you are doing, or a couple depending on what you're doing, whatever. But no, but like get together, and that I think that helps with like getting out with more people. I think like take a note from the literal show community and find a study group. If you or like find people to study with too, because like sometimes when you do like online quizzes and tests and stuff like that, and they don't, I mean, they might time, but whatever, they give you unlimited chances. Like, no offense, you can cheat. Yeah, you can cheat. I'm not telling you to do it, but like, yeah, you can cheat. Yeah. And like, and a lot of like the classes that I had that allowed for this to happen, that could allow you to cheat, they allow like some of the stuff is like, oh yeah, you can look up on your phone. I mean, like, yeah, you can look up on your phone, but like the way that you learn it, you want to know. I mean, yeah, you don't want to like, oh, have to look it up on your phone every single time. I mean, you want to know it, but like, if you do like an online quiz and stuff like that allow you to do multiple takes of this or that, take advantage of it. Don't make it suspicious. Like, don't make it suspicious. Like, you may know the answers, but don't be like, if you get one wrong because it was stupid, like, by all means, speedrun it. Speedrun that quiz. But do make sure that you're on top of your work priorities and stuff like that. That you're not taking a super heavy workload. But also at the same time not taking a super light workload, because you don't want to be there perpetually, as I was saying. But yeah. Yeah, I think that was like my main ones for that. Dorm life. The dorms are cool. Uh, find a time to shower. If you're like me, like I took showers sometimes in the morning, sometimes like way the freak at night. Like I've definitely taken some very late night showers, like 2 a.m. showers. But I've also taken some at 5 a.m., when I woke up. Just randomly. I've definitely done both extremes, where like I'm in there just just a random hour of the day, just taking a shower. If that it's one of those dorms that do have that. But make sure that you bring your towel. Make sure it's like you have your stuff, because again, that's kind of a public bathroom, and you want to make sure that you keep your stuff. So only bring what you need. If you want to bring your phone for like music or that, cool. But be careful what you bring. And I never really ran into this, and I don't really want to dox myself for saying this, but like I was definitely one that didn't wear like sandals in the shower. I wasn't one. I mean, I made sure that my toes were definitely clean, because like I think it was like gangrene. I can't remember exactly what disease it is, but like a foot fungus, I can't remember. But I made sure that my feet were clean for sure, because yeah, you don't want dirty feet. You don't want dirty feet. Yeah, that's a big one. Bathroom stuff. So only bring what you need in the shower. Again, don't bring your whole setup, but make sure and get enough sleep. Get enough sleep. I mean, yeah, you might be sleep depriving yourself some days, but if you have something important or you're feeling tired, just get enough sleep. Make sure that you set multiple alarms, because multiple alarms are good. And yeah, I mean, if you have a roommate, I'd say if you are waking up at the exact same time, cool. But if not, help each other out. If someone isn't waking up when they're supposed to be waking up, please wake them up. You're trying to help a fellow brother and sister in education. So come on. Yeah. Hang out with your roommate too, because yes, I definitely did, especially later on in my freshman year. When sophomore year came around, I didn't really see him that much because we weren't roommates anymore. But he's a really cool dude, and he's in his field, from what I know, and he's doing good. He's doing fine. I have stories about him, but it's about time to wrap it up. But yeah, it's honestly been a very good episode. I really miss that welcome week energy. I think that's probably what the episode will be. It's called Welcome Week Energy. Like, I didn't really have to drink much of my drink tonight, and it's an energy drink too. Yeah. But yeah, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up. So, thank you for listening and watching, doing all that fun stuff. Blah, 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 blah. If you want to watch this happen live, go to twitch.tv/Melted Lyric Original, all one word, or go into the search bar, type of Melted Lyric Original, capitalize the M in Melted, the L in Lyric, and the O in Original. You should be fine. If you mess that up, I don't know how you can do that. Or if you miss it being live and the VOD's not there, go to YouTube and you'll find it there. Okay, I had to actually make sure that this is recording because I almost looked. I'm like, oh gosh. Or go to YouTube. You'll find the recording. You'll find the VODs of these up there. Little minimally edited, but they're up there. They're up there. And all that good stuff. And that's what that's what this is. It's a minimally edited podcast. It's self-explanatory. What can I say? But yeah, and eventually it'll be on other sources like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know, Bandcamp. But speaking of those audio services, thanks to the band Gradients for the use of their song "Used to It" off of the album The Call. I've met the boys at college, and mainly through work. Mainly through work work my job, mainly because that way. But man, I have watched those guys play 3 times at one of the talent. Actually, no. I feel like it was 4 separate times. I feel like it might have been more. now I keep thinking about it. I think maybe 4 or 5 times on. I keep thinking that there might be more. There probably is more. At least 5 times on campus, and that's how I got to know them. Oh, and also I knew some of the members just because they were in my department and this and that, blah 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 blah, and it just kind of grew from there. And just mutual friends and stuff like that. And yeah, and I know some of them are still, doing stuff. They're doing stuff for that, even though I think at this point all of them have graduated. I'm pretty sure they're definitely still doing stuff because I know one of them definitely posted a video at the campus doing stuff there. So yeah, that's just I miss those. I miss those vibes. I miss that. But yeah. And thank you for listening, watching, do what you do, and all that other stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada, yada. So, just looking at the time, it is not midnight here anymore, but it is midnight somewhere else. But until it becomes midnight here once again, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Oh, baby, now don't be scared, but don't get used to it. Yeah.
nuts.